gonna record the session so that you can watch it over and over and over again, right?
Okay, that
Yes,
would be
that'll be great.
awesome. That would be great.
Yes, no, I have to do that so you can watch it over and over and over again, right? Okay, let's start. So I'm gonna take a screen and I'm gonna share it for you, right? Just to show you how powerful these concepts are, guys. Very powerful. It's unrealistic, right? Are we ready?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Ready, man. Chen, you never sent me a photo.
Bro, I'm busy sending. I'm busy looking for it. Busy looking for my Ralph Lauren photo. I literally
Okay.
have got a new phone. I've got two phones. I'll send it to
Ah,
you. Don't
okay.
worry.
No,
Why?
no, just see. Look at this
Let's
guy,
come in. Let's
model,
come in, boy.
model, huh? She.
Ah,
I've never spoken to a model before. Not a model from all the way from South Africa moved to UK. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, guys,
It
let me.
happens. It happens.
Yeah, no, life, life is different for a lot of people. Sometimes we're blessed. Okay, can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Everybody can see my screen.
Yes, yes, I can.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. That is beautiful, guys. I'm so glad to have you guys here, right? And I'm sure you are excited to be here. And I can guarantee you that's going to be worth it. However, what I want from you guys is eventually, once you understand what I'm going to explain to you today, is to put in the work. Hi, guys.
Oh yes. Don't worry about that, man.
Okay.
I'm all about putting in the work, bro. I've been putting in the work for all different types of strategies, and this one says this. I'll put in the work. Don't you worry about that.
Okay. Perfect. That is beautiful. That is beautiful, model guy.
I
Okay.
promise you, I'm gonna come meet you, bro. I'm gonna go to you in Cape Town. When I meet you, you're gonna see, bro. It's gonna be cool.
Okay. Okay. So, guys, and I'm gonna go a bit slow for the guy from Ivory Coast, Zurich, because he's a bit English is not too lekker, but that is amazing. That is willing to put in the work and to find someone, even though he doesn't understand English so well, but to find someone that understands the method and actually join his class. Wow, I really admire that. Just shows you how determined you are. Really shows you how determined you are. So we'll take it slow. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to explain to you today, right? You're going to start off having two sessions with me, right? And first session is all about our H4 time frame, which is the time frame I use to determine my trend, right? As the time frame I use to get my bias, right? And next session, which you'll attend with me once you master the session, is all about your M15 entries. How do we enter on M15 knowing our bias, right? And trading in the direction of our bias. We're all clear on that.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, that is beautiful, beautiful. So let's look at this. So what I'm going to teach you now, H4, right, is going to be about your order blocks, right? It's going to be about your breakers, and that is going to use to determine your order flow, guys, right? And once you understand your order flow, it creates an expectation. Expectation, right? We all understand. So once we understand the order blocks and the breakers determine our bias, right? It determines our order flow. And our order flow is just basically a nice word for saying the trend. And once we understand what the trend is, it creates an expectation. On an M15, we only trade in the direction of our expectation. Does that make sense?
yes,
Yes.
it does.
Okay, very good. Rule number one is you'll see how I explain the concepts to you. Once I determine my expectation, my bias, rule number one for me and my system is I never ever trade against my expectation. Never ever do I trade against my expectation. I'm always trading with my expectation, with the flow, with the trend, never against the trend. That's why this time frame is very important, right? In the concepts that I'm going to teach you now. Are we all ready? Yes, we are. I know we are. Okay, so guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark the lower lows on this chart. Agreed?
Yes,
right? Because
Yes.
price is in a downtrend, it's creating lower lows, right? So what I'm going to explain to you is the order block concept. So the order blocks basically means this. It's simple. When price creates either a higher high or a lower low, there's always a price area in the chart in that price action that created the higher high or lower low that's responsible for doing so, and it's the area in the price where the institutions came in, moving price away from a specific price point after potentially a consolidation zone or after a stop point, right? They move price in the direction of the trend. And I'm going to show you how to identify this order block because it's very important that we're able to identify them, because once you identify the order blocks, which is the order flow that they're creating, we only trade in that direction. So let me show you how you can identify these order blocks, right? So when price makes a lower low in this scenario here, very, very easy. We can see prices making a lower low. How to identify this order blocks is you ask yourself, what is the last green candle in a downtrend? You ask yourself, what is the last green candle and the top wicks in that area responsible for a lower low? That's a question you always ask yourself, right? When price makes a lower low. And if you'll see, I'll start from the top, which is our source. Area, last green candle agreed, plus the wicks in that area. Can you see? That defines our order block. Everybody clear? Our first order block. When price makes a lower low, we ask ourselves, what's the last green candle responsible for the lower low? That defines our order block. Everybody clear?
Yes.
Price makes a lower low. We also say what's the last green candle and the top wicks responsible. That's our order block. Every time price makes a lower low, guys, we can find the order block. Every single last green candle and the top wicks in that area. Last green candle and the top wicks of that area. Last green candle and the top wicks of that area. Every time price makes a lower low, guys, there's an order block responsible for it. So let's just see how I did that. So price is moving down, right? Can you see?
Please,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes.
I want to know how many candle we can see to identify the other blocks, red ones, to
No.
know is a downtrend.
Yes. So no, there's no amount of candles. So let me explain that to you. So you agree price creates a lower low, right? Let's say price creates a lower low. Can you see that's the order block responsible for it? There's no amount of candles. It is your last green candle responsible for a lower low. Okay. So every time price makes a lower low, so there's some consolidation, there's a bit of a stop hunt, price makes a lower low. Once it
Okay.
does that, there's a you mark, you ask yourself what's the last green candle responsible, and that would be your order block. Understand?
Okay. Okay.
Price makes a lower low. Can you see? You ask yourself
Yes.
what's the last green candle responsible for that lower. Can you see that's the guy?
Okay.
And so forth and so forth. Every time price makes a lower low, you ask yourself what's the last order block. Come back, retest it, continues down, it creates a new order block, right? There's a bit of noise on your guys' lines. It's just muted for everybody. If you have questions, then ask. Price 10, every time consolidates, stop on, drops, makes a lower low. We mark the last green candle and the wicks in that area. Price 10 consolidates, drops, creates an order block because that's a lower low. Price 10 makes another low. You mark the last green candle. Price 10 makes another low, and then you mark the last green candle. Everybody clear now? I did that. We're all clear? First order block is always what we call the source, and the rest is what we call order blocks, right? And this determines our order flow, guys. In this case, the order flow is bearish. And why is it important to understand what order flow it is? Because remember, order flow creates an expectation. So now that I know that the order flow is bearish, right? What is our intraday pattern that we're looking for every single day? Let's think about it. If you understand that your order flow is bearish, guys, what's the pattern on an intraday basis? Don't you agree that would be your consolidation? Stop and high, drop back into the range. Everybody agree? right? Okay, you can unmute yourself, guys. I prefer it like that.
Okay, right.
You understand? Perfect. Every time when, and I want to show you how powerful this concept is, because that's like, let's say that 3 days, right? That's a full week. So that's like, 8 days of price moving in a clear downtrend, right? Think about what is the pattern for that 8 days. If you were just trading this pair, you could have taken advantage of the intraday cycle, which is your consolidation, stop and tie, drop back into the range. Consolidation, stop and tie, drop back into the. Every single day you could have taken advantage of that pattern, knowing your H4 bias and knowing your expectation. We're all clear on that. All clear on that, guys?
Okay.
Okay, we're all clear, guys. This is a very, very interactive session, so I want you guys to chat with me, right? Please, very, very important that you do. Okay, let's look at a bullish scenario. Very important that you guys do. This is your session with me, your time with me. Let's look at a bullish example, right? So this case, right? Let's mark out everything to the left just so that we don't confuse you. I just want you to focus on this, right? So how do we identify bullish order blocks, guys? Very, very easy and very, very similar. Every time price makes a higher high, right? Every time price makes a higher high. Can you see that? Everybody agree? For the bullish order flow, you ask yourself, what is the last red candle responsible for a higher high? The last red candle and the bottom wicks. So let's start. Let's identify your bullish order blocks. You'll see bullish order blocks, last red candle and the bottom wicks. Last red candle and the bottom wicks. Can you see? Every time price makes a high, last red candle and the bottom wicks. Last red candle and the bottom wicks. Last red candle and the bottom wicks, right? Last red candle and the bottom wicks. And last red candle and the bottom wicks. Can you see what I just did here? How I drew my bullish order blocks. First one is always what I call my source. The rest is what we call our bullish order blocks, right? And what does this create? Our bearish, our bullish order flow, right? And let's see why this is important. When we know that it's bullish order flow, guys, what is our intraday cycle, on the daily, on your 15-minute time frame, on your daily cycle? It's easy. It's your consolidation, your stop and low, then rise back into the range. Consolidation, stop and then stop and low, then rise back into consolidation, right? Every single day. If you understand the order flow, you can take advantage of this pattern and entry and then enter over there. And I want you just to see how powerful this concept is, right? Because if you want to understand the order flow, let's look at this. We've got, let's say, a week here, right? We've got another week here, and we've got like 3 days over here, for example. That is like 12 or 13 days every single day where you could have profited from the up move on this pair. Every single day you could have profited. Does that make sense? You guys making this too easy. Let's just pause a bit here, unmute everybody. Let's just speak about this, guys. Any questions on that? I don't really want to move forward without any questions. Makes sense? Wow, this is crazy. This is too easy, guys. No other questions, guys? Do you all understand how I drew these blocks?
Okay. Can you tell me about the lower wicks and the higher wicks for
Okay.
the ordered blocks?
Yes. Okay, that's a very, very, very good example. So let's look at this bullish scenario, right, Zane? Let's think about this. When when uh when price is creating bullish order blocks, right? Meaning there's an area in price where the institutions came in and bought price, right? But the reason why I say the bottom wicks is important in an uptrend, because think about it. In an up move, when institutions are buying, does the wicks, the bottom wicks, not indicate the source of that buying power? Agree?
That's so true. Yeah, that's true.
That's where they came in. Because before that, wick was there, that was actually a full red candle. Agreed?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
There was a full red candle if you're looking at it in real time. And then all of a sudden, the guys got in and like, no, 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 you're not going any further. We're pushing you up. Once they created higher, it creates the bullish order block. And exactly the opposite for your downtrend. Where do you think the downtrend? Don't you think that the wicks this year is the source of the selling power, right? Came in right over there.
I see now. No, you see, that's where I was falling a bit short on this whole concept. Because
Yes.
I was just learning from your cards, but I was when I was looking at your order blocks, I was always thinking how I would always draw just from the body of the candles,
So not
or
correct.
not the
Yes.
body, but the full, the full either the bullish or the bearish
Yes.
order,
But I
not
mean,
the actual wicks.
if you look at this, it's wrong, because the reason why it's called order blocks is to identify the orders in that area, right? And you can
Yeah.
clearly see that the orders for that price area, this is the last green candle. However, the orders originated from here.
So is that how you would draw it?
Yes.
Okay. No, just I learned this. I know.
No other way, but that's a
Okay,
very good question. No other way to draw it. You need to include the top wicks in a downtrend, because the orders come from the top, and in an uptrend, the orders come from the bottom. So you need to include the bottom wicks. Everybody clear on that, guys? The other guys? You all
guys.
clear?
Yes, I'm fine.
Wow, this is awesome session, guys. You're making it very, very easy.
But
Okay.
one question.
Yes, sir.
How to identify the high or the low in the weekly chart without the high and low indicator?
Okay, Yurich, it's very difficult to hear you. Can you not rather type it out? There's a lot of noise, like children jumping up and down and stuff like that. Cannot hear. What did you say? Can you maybe repeat it again with less
I
noise?
come at the set my microphone.
Okay, did anybody hear what he said? I'm not too sure what he said.
No, I can't hear properly, bro, on that. And I've got my loudspeaker on.
Yeah, there's too much noise in the background. Play area perhaps, like a creature. Okay. So once you ask the question, or once you lower down the noise, if you can move to a different area, then much
Okay,
better.
it's good now.
Okay, yes. What's up? Yes. Come here. Speak louder then,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to know how to identify in the weekly chart to identify high and low when the weekly are starting. How to identify the high or the low without the high and low indicator.
Okay, but why do you need to know that?
To identify the block order.
But follow the order blocks.
Yeah, I don't understand why he wants to know.
Yeah. If you follow the order blocks, he's just told if you follow the order blocks, you'll know if you're going to buy or sell.
Yes. So it's you.
Yes,
So
is to identify the high and the other blocks.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. So you know when to swing high and swing low, but
Yes.
forget about everything. This is a different concept. We need to learn this.
yeah. So
But I understand what you mean. I understand what he means, where he's
Oh.
coming from. But he needs to learn this concept. I think.
Yes, I think so. So Yurich, so very important. I do not really go to the weekly charts. I'm not sure why you need to understand the weekly chart, right? My bias is just determined by the order flow on H4. So that determines my trend direction, right? So this, and I'll explain to you when potentially a breaker comes along, right? So the next concept, because you all seem like you're all clear and understand the bullish order flow and the bearish order flow. My next concept is going to explain the breaker concept, right? Let me take a new screenshot and we'll see how powerful this method is, right? It's
Okay.
very important, yes. This is very, very important. So guys, what we're going to move on to now is what we call the breaker concept, right? So what I taught you earlier on was how to trade in the direction of the order flow, and which you all agree on, you're all happy with. But now then you'll come to a point where the trend ends, right? This is where the breaker comes in. So the breaker, guys, is always the last order block in a trend in the order flow that breaks. So if it's in a downward movement, bearish order flow, if price closes above the last order block, that last order block will become the breaker. If it's in an upward movement and price closes below the last bullish order block, that then becomes our breaker, right? So let me show you what I mean on the chart, right? So do you guys all agree that this is like a higher high on the chart? That's a lower high on this chart. Agreed? That's a lower low.
Yeah.
That's a higher high over there, and this is the last. This is the latest high high. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Lake, you've been very quiet. How do you pronounce your name? Are you good? Okay, he's very, very quiet. I hope he's listening, not falling off to sleep. Okay, so let's I'm gonna mark the last order block responsible for those highs and for those lows, right? Agree with me that for this last high, this is your last red candle responsible for that high. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay, for that lower high, this was the last red candle responsible for that lower high, right?
I can't see properly. Yes.
Okay, everybody agree?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. For this lower low, this was the last green candle responsible for that lower low. Agree? Okay. Then there's nothing here for that high. This was the last red candle wicks in the area responsible for that high. And it's for this ultimate high on this chart, right? This was a bearish candle. This was the last bearish candle responsible for that high. You just can't see it now, but if you zoom in and use a different template, you can clearly see that was a red candle responsible for the high, which was the last high. Everybody agree how I drew these order blocks?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful, Uri. Like, are you there? Can't pronounce his name. Oh, he's very, very quiet. Wow. Okay.
I am here. I am.
Yes, a very interactive session. I need to get feedback from so that I'm sure you understand these concepts. Did you understand that the last order block?
Yes. Yes. For the other block, I have no issue. That was clear. Why
Beautiful.
I'm so quiet is because I'm watching from my screen. I don't know what's wrong with my system audio. It's noisy, so I had to mute my system audio, and I'm using my phone's audio. I have a Bluetooth speaker connected on my phone, so I thought I was talking, but only for me to realize that I forgot I muted my
Okay.
computer audio.
Oh,
So I
I
just have
see.
to
I
pick up
see.
my phone now and to unmute my phone. So
Okay.
I'm using the audio from my phone, but I'm using the screen on my computer. So that's why
Beautiful.
I'm quiet because
Beautiful.
I have to go back, grab my phone to unmute myself.
No problem. So can
Thank you.
everybody see? Let's just clearly see that, right? Just to make sure we're all on the same concept, right? So you agree that was the last order block responsible for that high, last order block responsible for that high, last order block responsible for that lower low, and then this was the last order block responsible for that ultimate high. We agreed. So I want you to notice now. Does everybody notice, like for example, this on the left here? Can you see that we got price closing below with the body, not the wick, with the body below the last bullish order block. Can everybody see that?
Wait,
Yes.
sorry, repeat that time, please.
So price, this was the order block, right? We were expecting price to bounce from that order block to continue with the trend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but can you see, because our order flow was bullish, right? But can you see our price closed below it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, guys, once price closed below the last order block, right? In this scenario, that order block becomes breaker, right? And all I'm going to do is change the color to yellow. Once that becomes breaker, we throw in the source, guys, right? The source is my very, very first order block in a trend, right? Once we throw a source, so this is what I'm going to explain to you now. Got 10 minutes of the session and then I'll start another one. So what's happening now, guys? When we get breaker, we expect price reversal. So you have prices flowing with the orders. All of a sudden, this becomes breaker. So what happens is price is moving up, moving up. All of a sudden, price breaks, right? Once price breaks the last order block, guys, you draw in your source. And what we're expecting now, guys, I'm no longer looking to trade in the direction of the order flow, right? Because now I've got a breaker. Once I get breaker, guys, I'm looking to trade the direction of the new trend, or but and I'm expecting a retest of either the breaker or the source for the downward movement. Can you see how I expect the reversal of the breaker, right? So let's look at this. Price closes below, right? That creates breaker, right? And we throw in our source. Price closes above, right? Once price closes above, we throw in our source. That creates a breaker. All I did was change the last order block's color from red to yellow, signifying breaker, because that's what I'm going to expect from you guys. And I throw in source, right? Price close below the last order block. I create, that creates me my breaker, right? And I throw in source. Okay, guys? So let's think about basically exactly what the theory suggests. When I get breaker, guys, I'm no longer looking to trade in the direction of the trend. I'm looking to trade the reversal. So I'm looking for a retest of either the breaker or the source and then drop. Breaker or the source and then drop. Breaker or the source and then rise, right? Breaker or the source and then drop. Everybody have any questions on that? After breaker, I'm expecting reversal. Is that clear?
Yes. Just busy
I have
writing
one
down.
question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, when the price broke the last order blocker
Yes.
and the price come back, but not test of the source, but the price test the order blocker to come back below. We can we can consider it as a reversal trend.
So, okay, that's a good question. And I think I understand what you're saying. So basically, when we get breaker, right? Another question I get asked a lot is, how do I know if it's going to retest, the breaker, or if it's going to retest the source, or if it's probably going to continue without retesting anything, right? I do not know, guys. Not possible for me to know. All I do know is once I get breaker, I'm no longer looking in this specific zone. I'm no longer looking to buy. I'm looking to sell. And then what am I waiting for? Because H4 only creates my bias. M15 determines my entry rules, right? So once I get break, I'm looking to sell, and then I wait for my M15 rules to give me my entry to sell. Does that answer your question, Yuri?
Yes, thank you.
And that M15 can give me a sell at breaker, can give me a sell at source, or price can come down and only give me a sell later on, based on my M15 rules.
Yes. I want to know one thing. So
Sorry?
I have one question.
Yes.
If the price break the other blocks, we know the price will make the retest.
Yes.
So I want to know if we can take position on the retest, or we must wait, test, retest, and break out the last low.
So yes, you see, very good question. But that's one way of trading at Yuri. However, when you trade that way, you're not waiting for M15 confirmation, right? So I think what you're saying is when you get breaker, what he's asking is all you do is put a sell limit, right? Are you saying you just put a sell limit?
Yes.
That's what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is something that you can do, and it can work, and it does work often. However, because you're not trading M15 to filter out bad setups, you're going to take everything like that. However,
Okay.
M15 acts as an additional filter, and what it does also, it gives us a very, very small stop loss when we trade M15 waiting for the retest, right?
And that's what I want to do. That's what I like about this.
Yes, M15, because the thing is, we know that when price is at source, right? What do we expect? We expect it to go down, right? And look at that. Look how beautiful price retested source. Can you see that?
Yes.
So very beautiful. Yuri would have got a nice, if you put a sell limit there, you would have got a nice entry as well. But look at this. Sometimes what happens is after breaker, can you see how price reversed, but there was no retest. Price just shot straight down. Can you see?
Yes.
And then creating the order flow. Noise on your line there. After breaker, can you see how price came back to retest the breaker? Look at that. How beautiful is that? That is extremely, extremely beautiful, right? And I mean, look what happened here. After breakup, price came back to retest the source. Can you see that, guys? How
Yeah.
beautiful is that, eh? Literally, how beautiful is that? Your entry would have been somewhere over here and maybe somewhere over there again. And then definitely over there again if you missed on M15. It is insane how this concept works, guys. Literally, it's crazy. Everybody understood what I just did here now.
Well, not at the end, but the little entry parts. But yes, most of it.
Okay, when you say no, what entry is M15, which is next
That's
session, right?
later. Yeah,
Yes.
that's later on anyway.
Don't concern yourself too much about that because everything is a process and everything takes time. However, mastering this concept is the key to your success. I don't know if any of you trade BTMM, right?
Yeah, it's the only concept I basically have. Well, yeah, basically have actually found success in.
What?
It's the only one to really. Yeah.
BTMM.
Yeah, BTMM. I mean, I'm not a professional at it,
But
but yeah, I mean,
but
it's the only one that actually helped.
so no, agreed. So I want you to just figure this out. Do you agree that your levels are very, very subjective?
Yes.
You know?
Well, I mean, I've always been taught. I've always been taught that there's only 3 levels, but I mean, you can clearly see. Yeah, this is 8 days of rise.
Yes. I mean, no. Like I showed you here, this was 5, 10, 12, 13 days of
Yeah,
rise.
exactly. And the first time you learn BTMM, they tell you it's 3 days of rise,
3
three
days of
days of
rise.
fall, basically.
Yes. But
Basically, three
but can
days
you
of rise, retest, 3 days of fall. But that's, I mean, that doesn't happen.
no, no, it
But
doesn't
that's
happen. It doesn't happen. And also some guys, the thing with their problem is if your levels are very subjective, right? And you don't have to even know what level you're on because different levels you take different trades on M15, different London patterns that you can expect. And in an intraday basis, in your intraday, there's different uh, you could trade based on the levels there as well, but it's not very consistent. It's not 3 levels consolidation or stop on
no
180
way.
or down and then 2 to 380 or up again, or 580 or then 180 or down. It doesn't work like that. And the thing is, how many people draw levels completely differently? You know?
Yeah, everyone's good, but that's the thing, man. Everyone's has their own different views. This you can't have your own view because it's in front
Exactly.
of you. You just need to mark it. You
Exactly.
cannot predict where this thing is. I mean, I've been in so many groups and people they're fighting about no, this level's right, this level. But I mean, yeah, he could be right, he could be right, because it's just predictions. But it's you know, anyone could be right. But this is in front of you. You can't. I
This
mean,
this is very, and can I tell you something, guys? This is so consistent, my friends, that my students, which you guys are now as well, once you master, we take the same setups, we take the same trades, because we understand that there's a breaker, we take the reversal at the retest or break or retest or source. Or if it's an order flow trade, we wait for price to give us our M15 entry in the direction of the order flow. We take the same setups, no subjectivity, guys. It is right in front of you. It's the truth. There's only one way, according to my rules, to trade it. You understand?
well, that's, you see, this is what I'm be waiting for, man. I want to